Okay, so I wanted to go over this and see what he's talking about. While I don't necessarily agree with everything that Richie says about everything, and I do wish that he would kind of be mindful of the fact that moms and dads have their computers on or devices and they have listening children. So I really wish that he would employ self control with his language, especially on a video. But anyhow, I that said, well, I don't agree with everything that he thinks. There's enough things that he thinks that are good, accurate, and true. And I like, he does give me a certain level of discernment when he connects dots. And if he had a nickel for every time something that he asserted was true, I think he'd be a rich man, whether that was nickels coming from me or people elsewhere or whatever. There is a collective amount of wisdom that he has, as well as others. A call for an uprising, I would say, too. And they have very large viewer bases because what they say about many things resonate with people. And there's one thing that some Americans don't like, and other countries too, and we don't like being manipulated. So it's very eye opening to us when we kind of have that sliver of light that shines through and we find out that what they're calling our entertainment is so much more than that. It's so much more than ad revenue. It's so much more than making money. It's so much more than just the daily grind of industries collaborating and making money. It is about forming and forging a new opinion about something, a new direction, a new idea. It's about selling ideas to people basically, and it's done, and I've talked about this in so many videos because I'm so fascinated with it, and I have also encouraged other people to please go over to Vigilant Citizen. He is a Muslim, so do take that into consideration. He does not believe in the Son of God, which is sad. I don't know who he is. He has an article that I'm always highlighting to people and that I'm pecking through, and he has a lot of really good articles. I don't know that he gets everything, but he gets a lot of things. And so just those three channels right there that I mentioned, or two he has a YouTube channel as well, but this is his website. And if you go over to read this first, he gives one of the best trysts I have ever seen in my entire life on how there is mind control put through the various techniques, the fathers of these theories and their thinking, and how all of all of this agenda driven Luciferian world system in darkness, the prince of the power of air, the prince of darkness, Jesus called him, the prince of this world, Jesus called Lucifer, this coming antichrist that's coming, his beast government, his beast kingdom, his 1,000 points of light, the constituents who are within that kingdom pushing it and moving it forward, all of that together, this big machine that's moving forward, kind of like a leaf that's floating down the river that can't stop. It just is going. And it's picking up souls in this massive spiritual battle along the way. And they have the highest amount of money put into these projects to do one thing, and that's to move you, to switch your worldview and to change who and what you are from within. And that's oftentimes to bring you, I mean, there's specific things that they want to focus in on, but the ultimate goal is to keep you away from, quote, that man, Jesus, who's not just a man, he's God. But they all have all kinds of little subsets of their goals. And so I really enjoy this site. And he actually just put out an article 2 days ago. So I'm really excited to go and read that and drink that in. The elite machine behind Greta Thunberg. And they have actually turned Greta, if you don't know about this, they're really playing with these concepts of a female Christ, a female savior, a mother goddess figure. You know, that like Day Writers channel. I really like that dude. He's constantly talking about the mother goddess, the queen of heaven, and he goes in and explains all about how Mother Earth is seen in all of these different religions all over the place. Not to spend a lot of time on this, but he says here in the opening paragraph, he says, mass media is the most powerful tool used by the ruling class to manipulate the masses. It shapes and molds opinions, attitudes, and defines what is normal and acceptable. This article looks at the workings of mass media through the theories of major thinkers, its power structure, and the techniques it uses in order to understand its true role in society. And so I am going to resist the temptation to rabbit trail over to this article right here, but I do want to hear what he has to say, because this whole Mother Earth save the earth, and if we have to kill some people off in the process of that, that is a big theme that is coming up that people need to understand. But we're going to hold off on that rabbit trail, and we're going to go back over to what Richie is saying. We're not going to have time to get into the whole thing, but I do want to hear at least a smidgen of what he's talking about, because while this sounds on the onset bat whatever crazy, it's true. CIA controls your television. It's absolutely true. And as much as he sometimes drives me nuts and makes me want to rip my hair out for various things, I'm so drawn to what he has to say. I have to check in with his channel periodically because what he says is accurate. A lot of it is. So those articles kind of help to open people's eyes up when you see that there really are social engineers all around us in a professional capacity. And in the end, it's all about influence. And Satan wants to influence people away from Jesus and towards him and towards his coming abominable branch and the new humanity. So anyhow.
Mind that the mainstream, the internet, banks, all these things, Amazon, eBay, all of these things are incredibly susceptible to complete. So for October.
Get to the point, Rick.
Accurate information.
Okay, so now they're trying.
From a Kentucky gun demonstration. They have since issued a retraction and apology, but this really brings into question how much fact-checking actually goes on before these big legacy news networks disseminate inaccurate information.
Okay, so now they're trying to make it look like, oh, we just didn't vet it properly. They want us to go to war. They put this information out just to see if people would buy it or not. And a bunch of people caught it right off the bat. The Potter's Clay YouTube channel, for instance, ran this the other day. Check this video out.
I am the queen of redundant. Yes.
This video, obtained by ABC News, appears to show the fury of the Turkish attack on the border town of Tel Abyad, a border town bombarded by Turkey's military.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town. The Kurds, who fought alongside the U.S. against ISIS. Now, horrific reports of atrocities committed by Turkish-backed fighters on those very allies.
What? Oh, you dirty dogs. Wow.
I've shown you this, I don't know how many times, but the information that was just presented as Turkey attacking Syrian Kurds is from ABC News, which is owned by Disney. Now, do you see this mess right here? 6 companies control much of the U.S. media. This is what they're telling us in July 24th of 2018. But this is old news. I've been showing you this since at least 2012, that 6 companies own all the media. One of them is General Electric. One of them is Disney, Freemasonic, and a company that makes nothing but war. This was not an accident. This wasn't an oversight. How in the world do you show footage claiming it's a country attacking another country when it's simply a small gun show? Do you see what I'm saying? They made this look like it was like this was a country attacking a country. It's a gun show. This is the same exact footage. Doesn't it look like a giant country is attacking another country? When actually it's just a stage. And they completely got smoked. They got caught by people like you and me. Do you see what I'm saying? But this isn't anything new. They do this absolutely all the time. War will be started.
Richie, you kill me sometimes, dude. I think that, woo, look at this. CIA flashback. We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything is what? I gotta see this last line. Everything is
television networks.
when everything the American public believes is false. Oh, that is so demonic. William Casey, CIA director, 81 through 87. Wow. So I think the reason why they're trying to say this whole thing about Syria and Turkey and all this is so that the Christians who know about the Gog and Magog war and all that kind of thing. And remember, Syria is right next door to Israel, right? So you've got all this problem happening right there outside of Israel. I think it's so that we'll kind of go along with whatever our government wants to do. And the backstory of what may be happening is that Israel is using our people to crush other Gentiles. Now, are they nice other Gentiles? No. Are the Allah-believing, head-chopping, Sharia law-observant Gentiles surrounding Israel nice people? No. Well, some of them are. Some of them are Christians, but I'm talking about the Allah-worshipping ones. There's so many games going on and being played, and Israel oftentimes uses our government, our money, our resources, our people, our equipment, our this, our that, to be a watchdog for them and to go out and have our sons and our daughters being murdered off in war, which is such a difficult thing to deal with anyhow, for their cause. And you can see how the American government and the media are willing to be part of that. Now, why would they want to create an idea that there's a war happening that truly isn't, or making it worse than it actually is? So you'll have the blessing of the Christians sitting there going, yeah, go bomb them, go bomb them. There's probably a lot more going on, but we shouldn't be bloodthirsty. But at the same time, too, you can't just sit back with a flower thing around your head and be like, oh, we have to be peaceful so that, you know, the enemy overcomes you and eats you up as well. I mean, there's a balance in there somewhere. And these ideas of extremes that we are swung to one way or the other is a concern to me. But why this would also interest a Christian is because the people on the top that are the rich and the wealthy, they want to create wars. There's money in that. There's power and control in that. There's changing the world system in that. And there really is about there's this idea that you want to create so much war so that it creates an appetite for the false peace that is coming, where you just wear people down. It's just all they ever hear about: war, 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 war. Our country is over in the Middle East more than really they ought to be, and they're not always being used for good purposes. Much more could be said about that. But the people at the top, you have to remember their goal is always depopulation. And so if they want to nurture that process along to get a nice, big, juicy war going and have the support of the American people, this is the way to do it, to lie, to construct a reality that is not true through the TV camera. There's many other things that could be said about this.
Wag the dog.
It is. The movie Wag the Dog. Go watch that trailer. I don't really like movies except just a few of them. But the trailers for Wag the Dog and Argo are so telling of what's going on. And the people just trust no matter what. But anyhow, there is a third world war coming. And at the end of the day, it's all about depopulation and bringing Antichrist.